The life and disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart, a name that still resonates around the world, was a pioneering aviator, fearless adventurer, and powerful symbol of women's potential in a male-dominated era. Her life story is one of ambition, courage, and mystery, making her both a historical figure and a legend. From her early fascination with flight to her mysterious disappearance, Amelia's journey captivated the world and continues to inspire generations. Early life and introduction to aviation. Amelia Mary Earhart was born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas, USA, raised in a time when women were expected to stay within traditional roles. Amelia showed early signs of independence and curiosity. She defied expectations from a young age, enjoying climbing trees, hunting rats with a rifle, and keeping scrapbooks of successful women in male-dominated careers. Her passion for aviation began in earnest in 1920, when she attended a flying exhibition with her father in Long Beach, California. After a short flight with pilot Frank Hawks, she knew she had found her calling. Determined to fly, Amelia worked various jobs from truck driver to photographer to save up for flying lessons. She took her first lesson with female pilot Anita Snook and bought her first plane, a second-hand Kinner Airster, which she nicknamed the Canary, breaking records and challenging gender norms. Amelia's natural talent and relentless determination led her to break several records. In 1922, she set her first record by flying to 14,000 feet, the highest altitude achieved by a woman at the time. She earned her pilot's license in 1923, becoming the 16th woman in the world to do so. Her rise to fame truly began in 1928, when she became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, though only as a passenger, not as pilot. Despite that, the flight brought her worldwide recognition. Media dubbed her Lady Lindy, comparing her to Charles Lindbergh, who had completed a solo transatlantic flight the year before. She used her fame to advocate for women in aviation and became an editor at Cosmopolitan, where she promoted opportunities for female pilots. In 1932, Amelia made history again by flying solo across the Atlantic Ocean from Newfoundland, Canada, to Ireland. She became the first woman and only the second person after Lindbergh to do so.
Really no bad weather at all, except a few little rain squalls. I saw the moon and stars most of the night.
That flight earned her international acclaim, and President Herbert Hoover awarded her the Distinguished Flying Cross, the first ever given to a woman. Later achievements and the final flight. Throughout the 1930s, Earhart continued to break barriers. She set speed and distance records, wrote books, gave lectures, and became a symbol of independence and achievement. She also helped found the 99s, an organization of female pilots that still exists today. Her ultimate goal, however, was to fly around the world, a feat never before completed near the equator. In 1937, accompanied by navigator Fred Noonan, Amelia began her most ambitious journey. After several delays and one failed attempt, they departed from Miami on June 1, 1937. They successfully completed most of the journey, covering over 22,000 miles and visiting South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. On July 2, 1937, Amelia and Noonan departed from Papua New Guinea, heading for Howland Island in the Central Pacific. It was a remote island with a tiny landing strip, and communication was difficult. Despite efforts by the U.S. Coast Guard and Navy to guide her in, Amelia never reached the island. Her last known radio transmission indicated she was low on fuel and couldn't locate Howland. After Earhart and Fred Noonan disappeared on July 2, 1937, en route to Howland Island from Papua New Guinea, the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard launched the most expensive and extensive search ever undertaken for a civilian at that time. The U.S. Navy aircraft carrier USS Lexington and several ships and aircraft searched approximately 250,000 square miles of ocean. The search lasted about 2 weeks, costing more than $4 million, equivalent to over $80 million today. Despite covering a wide area, no wreckage or evidence was found. On July 19, 1937, the official search was called off. The U.S. government declared her lost at sea on July 19, 1937. Amelia's husband, George Palmer Putnam, continued the search privately, He financed additional expeditions to the Pacific, hired pilots and ships to scout nearby islands, including the Phoenix Islands. Putnam also combed intelligence and radio records for signs of distress signals. His efforts eventually ran out of funding with no conclusive results. Since Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan vanished over the Pacific Ocean in 1937, countless theories have emerged to explain what happened, but the three most widely discussed are the Crescent sink theory, the Nikomororo castaway theory, and the Japanese capture theory. The most widely accepted explanation is that Earhart simply ran out of fuel while searching for Howland Island, failed to locate it due to poor visibility and radio communication issues, and crashed into the ocean. This is supported by her last known transmissions, and has led to multiple deep-sea search missions near Howland Island, though no wreckage has ever been found. An alternative theory championed by the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, TR, suggests that Earhart landed on the reef of Nikomororo, a remote coral atoll in the Phoenix Islands, where she may have survived for a time as a castaway. This idea is backed by early post-loss radio signals. A partial skeleton discovered in 1940, and artifacts such as a 1930s woman's shoe and cosmetic jars found on the island, though no conclusive proof has surfaced. The third and most controversial theory claims that Earhart and Noonan flew off course and were captured by the Japanese in the Marshall Islands, possibly mistaken for spies. This idea is based on eyewitness reports, unverified photos, and wartime rumors, but it lacks strong evidence and has been largely discredited by most historians. While each theory has compelling aspects, none has been definitively proven. Despite decades of investigations, expeditions, and modern technological searches, including sonar mapping and deep-sea exploration, no confirmed evidence has ever solved the mystery. Her disappearance remains one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Legacy. Amelia Earhart's story endures not only because of her achievements, but because of what she represented. She was a role model who broke stereotypes, encouraged women to pursue careers in fields traditionally dominated by men, and lived life fearlessly. Her bold spirit, captured in her own words, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself," continues to motivate people around the world. Many theories about her disappearance still circulate, ranging from crash and sink to capture theories. But regardless of the outcome, Amelia Earhart's impact is indelible. Statues, schools, airports, scholarships, and even lunar craters bear her name. Amelia Earhart was more than an aviator. She was a trailblazer who soared beyond expectations and opened the skies for countless others. Her life was filled with bold choices, significant accomplishments, and an unwavering belief in herself. Though she vanished from the skies, her legacy remains firmly grounded in history. Thank you for watching.